Well, good morning. I missed doing my day 7 talk to camera yesterday. It was a full-on day 3 of our 4-day Adventure Academy, and we had a full-day trail ride and just simply didn't have the minutes left in the day to do anything yesterday. So just heading to the workshop now, about to start the last day of our academy. And this is day 7 for me with the Talking to Camera Challenge. And topic for me today is my dream adventure ride. I've been very fortunate over the years that I've managed to tick off a lot of the bucket list rides, I guess, that a lot of people would have. I've been to Cape York a few times, Vic High Country many times, Flinders Ranges, and we started doing quite a bit overseas as well. In Europe, went to Morocco earlier last year, so that's pretty cool to get to go to some of those exotic locations further away from home. One that's always been on the of interest list for me though is the Darian Gap between South America and North America. So if you don't know, if you haven't heard of the Darian Gap, it's a little strip of land, as I said, that connects North and South America, and there is no roads there. So if you wanted to follow the Pacific coastline along through North America and down into South America, you cannot ride the full distance. There is no road that cuts through the Darian Gap. So the country to the south is Colombia, and I'm trying to think what the country to the north is. That's escaped me at the moment. I don't know which country is actually to the north of the area or where the Darian Gap butts up to. Anyway, you would probably, to tackle it, would be a bit of a logistical nightmare, and the reason there is no roads through that section of land is that it's jungle. It's deep, impenetrable jungle. I think probably a big part of it too, there's for many years talk of a lot of cartels and things that sort of operate in the area that have probably made it a pretty unruly place, but it sounds like the land, the nature of the landscape itself is just plain unforgiving and nasty looking. I have watched read a few books, a couple of documentaries about different groups that have tried to forge a path through the Darian Gap over the years. I think about the earliest I read, there was the guy in a Jeep in about the 60s or something. I think it was about 67, tried to take a Jeep through the Darian Gap and ended up abandoning the vehicle in there for a while, and then came back later and I think made some repairs and got through. And then a few years ago there was a group of US military guys that they wanted to ride the entire length down the Pacific coast from Alaska, I think it was, right down to Patagonia sort of thing. And they attempted to ride through there on KLR 650s. I believe it was a failure. I don't think they got through. To be honest, I'm not super up with the successful or unsuccessful crossings of it, but what I do know is that it's damn hard, and there's, as I said, a lot of logistical challenges about getting in there. So the main challenge with it is being jungle, really slippery, red sort of clay soil, quite steep, a lot of roots and things growing through the soil, no path through there. There would be some walking paths and things like that. But yeah, the steep hills seem to be the thing that is the undoing of a lot of people. I believe the groups that have tried to do it on a motorcycle, their biggest issue has just been burning out clutches. And, of course, the distance, and there's no fuel in there and all these sorts of things. So to do it sounds like a real challenge, and that's appealing to me. It would be a lot of fun to attempt something like that. What's not appealing to me though is the mosquitoes and bugs that would be in the jungle there. I'm not a lover of mosquitoes. I hate the little things, and I do hate the thought of being in a jungle for a few days, sweating your butt off, pushing bike up a hill, and yeah, being eaten alive by mozzies. But yeah, it's the logistics of it that really fascinates me. You need to probably employ some local helpers to basically skull drag bikes up the hill. It'd be interesting to figure out what's the best way of doing it and how you would do it. Where would you start from? You know, to claim that you've ridden through the Darian Gap, would you, I don't know, start in the US somewhere and ride down through Mexico and what other countries are down south? Ecuador, Paraguay, can't even think of all the other small countries in there, Costa Rica, and then end up in Colombia. That's your end point. So yeah, the logistics to travel that sort of distance, but then also have a bike that could ride through that really nasty terrain where there is no track, where there is no road. That's part of the challenge. Currently, if you want to travel from North America to South America, the only ways you can really do it if you're on a long haul expedition ride, you've got a couple of choices of loading your bike on a boat and getting it shipped from, I think Panama is the usual place. You ship a bike from Panama down into Colombia. There may be alternatives to fly your bike, but that would be very expensive, no doubt. So your choices, you know, are pretty limited, and but riding through the Darian Gap is even more limiting. So I don't know if that's one that I'll ever get to do. It's not what you might call a dream adventure ride, really. It sounds like a bloody nightmare for a lot of people, but it's a good challenge. So I don't know if I'll ever try and really tackle that one, but it's one that just keeps on coming back to my mind and thinking that'd be a good challenge to have a crack at. So we'll see. Perhaps some more realistic dream adventure rides, a couple that I've still got on my list. I do want to ride the entire length of the Great Dividing Range in one go. We've done our GDR series now over the last few years, and we've broke that up into 3 stages. I would like to do the entire length, which is about 6,000 kilometres. Do that in one ride. That would be really cool to do that over a month or a few weeks. And perhaps one of the other ones that I've still got on my list to do is what I call the Hell to Heaven ride here in Australia, which is from Lake Eyre, the lowest point in Australia, to Mount Kosciuszko, which is the highest point in Australia. Distance-wise, I think it's about 2,500 kilometres. I've already got a bit of a route planned for that one. So that one would be interesting to do. Real mix of terrain there between desert outback riding and then getting into the Vic High Country, New South Wales High Country, where it's more alpine terrain and some difficult hills. But again, it'd just be another one of those good ones to see the landscape change as you travel from low to high. So there's a couple for you. A couple of dream adventure rides. Maybe someday I'll tick a couple of those off, but the Darian Gap is the one that just keeps on coming back to me and thinking, oh, I want to do that. I want to try that. Let's see what happens.